Welcome back. Thank you. 3 more sessions to go until we finish for the day on this stage. There is obviously after that more going on next door. I think Lindsay from Maxis is on next door when we finish here. So this session, we're going to have 3 presentations on the stage around the theme of the 4th Industrial Revolution, mainly around tech, VR, AI, those kind of topics, and crucially, why it matters to you, or should matter to you. So we're going to do 3 presentations, one after the other, and I'm going to ask the presenters to take a seat when they're done. And if you have any burning questions, then keep them for the end, and we'll do any questions for all 3 speakers at the end. And so that's that. So moving swiftly on, without further ado, the first speaker is Mike Cooper, Global CEO of PhD. Mike.
So, just try and imagine that a superior alien life form gets in contact with us and says, we're on our way, we'll see you in 15 years. Would we reply by saying, that's great, we'll leave the lights on, see you when you get here? But AI is effectively just around the corner, and we're not really preparing, certainly not in the marketing industry anyway. Not everybody is excited about it. Stephen Hawking has said that success in creating AI would be the biggest event in human history. It might also be the last, unless we learn to manage the risks. And Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and Steve Wozniak are also voicing similar reservations about this world that we're walking backwards into. So some of the best minds in the world agree that it's a really big deal, that something big is coming down the line. But it's 11:59, effectively, on AI Eve. So what's brought us here? Why now? Well, there are really 3 key factors. The first one is unstructured data, which you hear people talk a lot about, coming from social media, from sensors, from transactions, from a whole variety of different sources. And 90% of that data has been generated in just the last 2 years. The first billion users of the internet came on via fixed wire. The second and third billion came on by mobile. But the next decade will see the connection of more than 20 billion devices via the Internet of Things. And all of those sources are going to be generating more and more and more data. So, you've got a vast amount of data. The second thing is the increasing sophistication of algorithms, such as self-learning ones developed by companies like DeepMind, and we'll see one of those in just a moment. And the third one is the massive increase in computational speed and capacity so that we can store more data than ever before. So that's the kind of background. Now, machines can now manage deep learning. This is where computers learn to figure things out for themselves. So just to be kind of clear on this, machine learning is where we have defined the parameters. Deep learning is something quite different. It's where machines or computers can undertake tasks we have not even programmed them to do. So I just wanted to show you a quick example of that, a very, very simple example, just to kind of bring it alive. In February 2015, Demis Hassabis and his team at DeepMind, a UK-based AI company, created an algorithm that could play really simple Atari-style arcade games. So this is Breakout. This is an early version of an Atari game. So just watch this for a second. This is the machine learning how to play it. So it's optimizing performance to get the best possible score. So this was the earliest iteration of this, but you see that after 500 games, the computer became a real expert doing it on its own. And things have moved on enormously since then, and many of you probably read that AI recently won against the world champion at Go, which is a three-dimensional game, which is far more complicated than chess. It beat the world champion at that game. So AI is really starting to attract major amounts of investment, the kind of funding that the internet attracted in the early years. And it's been projected that over the next 4 years, $70 billion will be invested in AI. And it's really becoming the plaything of giants. IBM with Deep Blue, Facebook and Google are acquiring and hiring in this space. IBM is using Watson to assess AI, to assess medical records, predicting future illnesses. Google has spent multiple $billion acquiring DeepMind, and Facebook is using AI for image and video recognition. And Kevin Kelly, the founding editor of Wired magazine, has said that everything we formerly electrified, we will now cognitize. So if you imagine, for example, Yahoo deciding to cognitize the 17 years of email data that they have, 256 petabytes of unstructured data, not just conversations, but transactions, healthcare data, receipts, travel information, etc. The cross-platform targeting potential of that is absolutely enormous. And these changes will lead to a radical reorganization of marketing. And the most obvious iteration of this in the near future will be the launch of the virtual personal assistant. And you've seen very basic versions of this with something like Siri. But if, for example, you missed your flight back from Rome tomorrow or the next day, which is entirely possible given the activities of many of the people here in Rome, your VPA would rebook your flight, change your hotel booking, book a cab, and inform your loved ones, take care of that whole process for you automatically. But the connection with marketing is, how would it choose which airline? How would it choose which hotel? And in this world, marketing is effectively changing, at least partially, from a frontal cortex decisioning process to an algorithmic one. So we're effectively going to be in a world where we're marketing to algorithms, which is a huge step. So the AI train is not just heading for our industry, but it's going to pass right through our backyard. And it will radically reorganize the world that we work in. So one prediction for this is that many of the different disciplines that we have today, like web and social analytics, dynamic creative optimization, search bidding, DSPs, DMPs, attribution modelings, they will all merge together as one. And who sees what, when, and in which order will be decided by algorithms, overseen by marketing experts. So human decisioning in our industry, certainly at a micro level, will effectively disappear, and human involvement will be elevated to be at the technology level, such as building technology stacks. So just to give you an idea of what this might look like, I just want you to imagine for a second that it's 2029, and you're looking backwards in history, backwards in time, at what's happened over the last few years.
It's hard to imagine our world without artificial intelligence, a technology now evolving around us at an exponential rate. Yet we lived in that world not so long ago. Back in 2015, we were marveling at the speed of change, how slow we would consider that change now. It was 1936 when Alan Turing developed his hypothetical computing machine, and 1943 that saw a computational model for neural networks developed based on algorithms. By 2011, Apple had integrated Siri into their iPhone. Google released Google Now, and tech giants began to meaningfully explore the potential of AI. Soon, Skype became capable of translating between languages in near real time. Objects were listening to what we were saying, and AI was listening to our machines. Washing machines assessing detergent quality, cars judging petrol efficiency, and homes managing their own energy usage. An abundance of real-time data, marking a new era of preemptive marketing. 2020 was the year that the self-driving car became commercially available. It was also the year objects, social networks, and smartphones were producing so much data that ad bidding was conducted in real time by artificial intelligence. 2020 was also the year our virtual personal assistants became sentient-like and began editing the world for us. They understood everything. Every ingredient, every location, every price, every possible way of booking, cancelling, and amending. AI understood our intentions, often before we did. We spoke naturally to them, and they back to us. They understood and communicated on our behalf to other VPAs, two algorithms making all the necessary arrangements. Our VPAs now recommended products and experiences. A simple yes from us, and they scheduled and made the booking. For the big media agencies, algorithm speed became the final competitive advantage. By 2023, we had outsourced our decision-making to our artificially intelligent VPAs, which now made purchase decisions on our behalf. They bought when they knew we were running out. They changed brand when they realized our preference had changed. If we'd been told in 2015 that in less than 10 years, marketers would be advertising to machines to persuade them to buy their products, we'd have found it hard to imagine. By now, the job of marketers was to convince machines to buy. Brands sought the best human reviews to convince algorithms to purchase their products and services. Which brings us to 2029. Machines have human levels of intelligence. They tell us jokes. They flirt. Our machines are microscopic and implantable. The first company founded and run by an AI has been established. Soon, artificial intelligence will explore the boundaries of art and music, and an algorithm will win a Grand Prix at Cannes. And in little more than a decade from now, AI will be advancing so rapidly that our ability to make predictions will break down. Singularity seems possible. Welcome to the future. Welcome to sentience.
So I think as an industry, it's important to recognize that change is upon us as an industry, and we need to start acting now. We need to start understanding these things. What it does mean is that there is a potential for this to be an even more remarkable industry in the future with a true blend of technology, science, and creativity, even more than we have today. And I think the media agency, anybody who works in marketing, will be at the forefront of that change. And there will be no better industry to belong in than this one as we navigate this. So that is an 11-minute tour through AI. So I hope you picked up some of the points there and found it interesting. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. As I said, if you have questions for Mike, keep them, and we'll try and do some questions at the end if we have time. Up next, Ariff Quli, Chief Commercial Officer from Blippar.
Thank you. $70 billion investment in AI. That's pretty amazing. So hi, I'm thrilled to be here. What I'd like to do in the theme of fourth revolution is go a little bit more current for today, and then give you sort of some of the core philosophies that are driving the Blippar business and potentially this AR movement, and then go into I'm going to risk some live demos, if you're all up for it. You're up for it? Yeah, okay, good. So here goes. And if it doesn't work, we've got a video, so that works too. Blippar, who are we and what do we do? We are building the world's leading visual browser. And what that means is that we look at objects, bring them to life, and it unlocks content that is relevant. Our mission and our vision is to give you more from the world that you see. Augmented reality is a technology whereby it adds additional information to the physical world. And there are three core philosophies that we're seeing that's really driving the Blippar model, but also this amazing movement in AR, VR, but also the core sort of surroundings of this, which are AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and computer vision. And you're going to hear a lot about this in the next coming years. I'm sure you've heard it already. But those are the driving factors. So let's talk about the first philosophy, our eyes. It's no common sense that our eyes are our primary sensor to our body. In fact, 83% of our combined senses are driven by sight. So when we look at things, our eyes give us sight. That sight gives us vision, which helps us learn and drives our knowledge. So why are we talking about this now? There's this huge shift in how we're behaving with the phone. Back in the 90s, it's evolved from being up here, back doing the rim down there, and what put it up there was the actual camera, right? The camera put it up there and the quality of the camera. But it's very much become an extension of our eyes. So this behavior shift has really driven a lot of these new technologies that we're seeing today. So that's one core philosophy, so we'll just park that for now. Second, product is a new media. Now, what does that mean? Blippar today looks at product packaging as product, but also chairs, bottles, trees, and leaves. We think of all of it. So when we talk about product, our ambition is to bring these products alive so that they communicate to you, they tell you about the nutritional value, or if you're hiking in the Amazon forest and you pick up a leaf, you want to know about the leaf and the tree. That's the level at which we're thinking about. So it's a really exciting journey. So we believe product is a new media, and we work with all our partners today through, obviously, you're looking at TV and digital as being the core medium, but this is that new era of product being the new media. That's our second philosophy. And the third one is really critical, because it really drives to a component of what John was saying about AI technology, with VR, but all of the components around technology. But very simply, words are not enough. 19 years ago, I used to use Yellow Pages. It was a great source of information, and then came the search engines, right? So they're pretty much the primary sort of source for knowledge. That's our primary gateway today for knowledge. We're sort of asking for information, now we're asking questions, but it has its limitations. When my wife and I are sitting in the street, she sees a red dress, and she wants to get that red dress. How does she describe that online? It's very difficult. We're limited by vocabulary. But let's take a step back from a global perspective. 1/7 of the world cannot read and write. 2/7 of the world can barely look at signage and maybe use some currency here and there. That leaves 4/7 of the world, which defines as high school dropouts to triple PhDs. You take one person in that pool that's knowledgeable, they probably use about 10% of their vocabulary. So words are not enough. When we think of, when we're curious and we want to investigate, it's very limiting. So that's our third core principle. And for that reason, it's opened up this amazing new field of science. And this new field of science is computer vision, machine learning, artificial intelligence. All of these things have now surfaced to help us get better at this. So here's, if you kind of, it feels like every 15 years is this swing. So remember, 95 to 2015, the big themes were HTTP, JavaScript, getting the web going, making everything come to life. We've been living that for 15 years. And it's been an amazing journey. The next era, as I mentioned, is this new sort of level of understanding, or computer understanding. So what I have behind me here is an actual picture of what today a computer understands the world, and it looks like, basically. So it's vision of the world today. And it acts like a 5 to 6-year-old. So you have sort of certain areas that are tied in there. You've got ground, grass, you've got maybe a bicycle and a person. And this is advancing with AI. This is advancing with machine learning. And it's only going to get better. And this is only a 5, 6-year-old today. So there's been, for the past 15 years, we've been, maybe 20 years, we've had our desktop, we've had photographs on our desktop, we've put that onto our laptop. We've got now our mobile phone with photographs, we have cloud computing, but we've got this huge amount of amazing data. And it's really a challenge to, how does one recognize, John's shoes right now and understand the shoes that it is and interpret it back as that's the shoe that John is wearing? That's progressing, and a huge catalyst to that will be augmented reality. Augmented reality will disrupt major industries. These industries go from education to retail, entertainment, enterprise, but you'll see a big push towards that. So, on that note, I want to get into some demos and show you where we are today. We have a visual browser today that we built. It's a beta. It's a 3 to 4-year-old. I know that because I test my son frequently. So if I go to demo, sir, in the back, put that in there. This is when I play the elevator music. Hearts are pounding. There you go. There's my little children. OK, so the Blippar app today. If you open up the Blippar app, I'm going to look through the room. So remember, this is a 3 to 5-year-old. So it says start blipping. You have these categories that we're building right now: cats, dogs, pizza, food. So I'm going to start blipping right now. This is our beta, and I'm going to look around the room, and let's see what it picks up. OK, it understands shares. It sees this word cloud around it. We're indoors. We're in a concert, maybe. I'm looking at the audience there. Will you wave at me for a second? Oh, you're playing a drum. OK, let's look over here. Some tables here. Exhibition, festival, computer. So you see the general place. It's scenic. It's understanding what's around it. And it's building upon this. Now, notice the plate here. It is a salad. So we've talked about the phenomenon of Internet of Things. We believe in sort of this shift between Internet on Things. So if I take a look at the salad, see what it finds here. Okay, it says lettuce, onions. All right, salad. So it's picking up tomato. Oh, more things. So you see how that populates, and you can learn more about it. So it's actually picking up all the vegetables here. Now, if this was a DVD, which it is, or if it was, let's see how it picks that up. So this is Kung Fu Panda. It's my son's favorite movie. And it's picked up Kung Fu Panda. I can open this up, and let's get some more information about Kung Fu Panda. So it opens up in these molecules here, and I can sort of, is that my music? Okay, good. I thought it was my iPhone music. As you can see, I can sort of circulate there. I can kind of see, okay, look, I can go to here. I can go to the Facebook site here by activating it. So it goes to the Facebook page for the movie to get more information. It's loading right there. We need a security check for some strange reason. Reviews. So reviews on the movie. So you see how I can kind of get lost in this whole play there. I've got the editor information. So this is sort of very disruptive in the entertainment world, where imagine every DVD, every poster will just give you information when you look at it. This could be in glass, this could be in anything, any lens. So this is what we're building, and at the moment it's that sort of 4-year-old kind of getting there. So I want to show you some sort of use cases in education and how this is disruptive. So I have a picture here of a flower. It's a sunfood flower. So the goal here would be teachers would be able to have the tool. They'll build their own lessons and create an AR lesson. John, I'm going to use you for some questions here, if that's OK. So if you scan this, you'll see what happens. And that's on a loop. OK, so what it is, you can see you have the teacher, or the student is column, day 1, and you see this pot here, right? So if you go away, come back the next day, it creates questions here. So you can watch a video. So we'll run a video, learn about photosynthesis, right? Get the sound on here somewhere. Okay, and then you can then take a quiz. So it says, okay, what does a plant use to collect water? Anyone? Roots, thank you. So you go next, and then it says, question number 2, what gas is released? We know that's oxygen. Next. Why are flowers colourful? Anyone? Shout it out, don't be scared. That's right, the second one, thank you. Done. Okay, so it gets right, and then you get to pour, as a reward, you get to pour some water, plant, through your plant, and this will rotate. You go back every day, you change the questions, get different quizzes, but can you imagine for teachers to be able to build these lessons, and each time you get rewarded, the plant will grow till when you're on your final stage, you'll have this beautiful sunflower, which is built there. You see that? So that's a sort of a use case in terms of from an education perspective. So we're investing heavily with the education sector as a non-for-profit business, giving them the tools that they can build these great AR experiences, share and learn with other teachers, and build upon that. The next one I want to show you is more of a commercial one. So Max Factor, one of the biggest insights has been that 70% of people who search for beauty products do this online. 10% of those folks actually end up in the store. So how do you close the loop within the store and create this digital experience? And the reason why they're doing it online is the individuality, they're able to learn reviews, be able to pick the right makeup and custom foundation. So in doing so, they've basically built their point of sales being activated. The product itself is activated so you can actually blip on the mascaras and it will give you information. So just give you sort of a use case of this, and my time is up, but I'll just quickly show you this one here. See how it all comes to life. You can find your perfect red for myself. You just sort of look at your tone. I would go dark, I think, for me. And then you would get your result. So general ways in which commercial folks are using it, marketing folks are using it to really drive sales. But imagine a world where objects are recognizable and they bring life, bring content to you through this visual browser that we're building. So that's Blippar.
Thank you. The live demo worked. Hooray! Thank you. Fascinating. Great stuff. Up next, Dylan Seo, CEO and founder of Volley Creative. Dylan's going to talk about virtual reality and why we should care. And he's a man who should know he was a co-founder of Oculus in a previous life. Dylan.
Wow, great stuff. AI and AR is really amazing. We're living in a world where all these interesting technologies coming up, and we should be really looking forward to the changes that these new technology will bring into our lives. So, how many of you out there have really tried the virtual reality headset before? Can I see your hand? Wow, quite a bit. Okay, have you guys checked out the Discovery VR? Not really. There was a Discovery VR outside and for you to check out, and nobody actually checked it. Okay, that's interesting. All right, so I'm going to talk about fairly new news today. Do you have sound? This is a demonstration from Google. There's a Google I/O conference that's happening this week in San Francisco, and they released this new demo video of their VR platform called Daydream. As you can see on your right, there's a remote controller that he's holding on his hand, and he's moving, the direction where he wants to go. So this device is called Daydream, and This is going to be available the fall of this year for your Android N. So most of the people who have the fairly new cell phones will be able to use this phone to actually use virtual reality. The picture you see, the headset design and the controller design looks quite similar to what Oculus has actually. And if you see the Daydream-ready smartphone partners, you will see all the major smartphone manufacturers out there who are building the smartphones will be actually supporting this function. And also, if you see the media partners over there, we have Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, Netflix, CNN, Hulu, IMAX, Lionsgate. They're all jumping into this area. So the most important thing, though, is Google's YouTube, because YouTube will be completely redesigned, and then we'll be able to host 360 video if you actually wear your VR headset. So once you use your headset, right now you have to actually download the content from the YouTube and then install it in your hard drive and then put it in and then actually see the 360 video with the Google Cardboard. But actually in the future, in near future, which is this fall, they're going to have actually YouTube completely redesigned for 360 VR experience. So for your advertisement that you will be producing in 360 video will be compatible with the new headset that's coming out. Why this is important? For about 128 years, we've been looking at the digital content, or even like a flat movie content into the 2D panel, right? So we are accustomed to see the things from a rectangular screens. But in the future, with the virtual reality technology, you'll no longer be seeing things, you'll actually be feeling things. One of the reasons why Facebook actually bought Oculus year 2014 is because he had a big dream. Mark Zuckerberg had a big dream. His dream is to actually connect the world and give people the power to share and make the world more open and connected. So how do we actually give people the power to share? In the past, Facebook has been it was actually a text sharing platform. So if I say, wow, Italy is fantastic in the text, people are going to be wondering, okay, Dylan must be in Italy, and he's saying something, and he's saying, Italy is fantastic. But current version of Facebook is actually saying, wow, Italy looks fantastic. Maybe because I share some photos, maybe I share some videos, then you can actually kind of see the photos of your friends and then say, wow, this actually looks fantastic. But in the future, people will say, wow, Italy feels fantastic because you'll be actually able to share, your presence, where you are at, and actually see things through your own eyes. That's what virtual reality can offer. With the virtual reality, you can be anywhere.
Open your mouth and shout.
Sit
All right, I'm not going to make you.
Oh man!
Doesn't it feel like you can reach out and touch the post?
You bet your bottom dollar you can. And I can't get over the leaves moving. Oh, I can't believe it. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
So she's actually over 90 years old, and a couple of game programmers actually bought Oculus Dev Kit and showed this to her grandma. And she was actually seeing one of the houses that Oculus built in the Mediterranean sort of style, and she was actually looking through things and was like, wow, she was amazed by it. This is what her reaction was. Like she can actually feel like she can go and grab something up there, right? So even though she was sitting actually in her living room, she felt like she's actually somewhere else. And in virtual reality, you can do anything.
Here's the drop.
Oh my god!
Look down.
Oh my god! Oh god! Oh.
So you're laughing at this, but she was actually riding a roller coaster. The story is that this is a young married couple. So they're on a honeymoon stage, and her husband is a computer programmer, and he showed this roller coaster ride to her wife. And her wife is supposed to, according to what we heard from the person who made the video, she's one of the girls who can never go on a roller coaster ride because she freaks out. She always worries about, what if this roller coaster stops in the middle? Or what if the safety gear just falls off? She was so scared in real life that she never rides in a roller coaster. But in virtual reality, she actually was able to, felt like she was actually riding a roller coaster. So and in virtual reality, you don't have to be human as well. So, yeah. Imagine, seeing the world through dog's eyes, or imagine seeing the world through the bird's eyes, or see the world through the insect's eyes, right? Anything is possible in virtual reality. And the reason you can do this is because there's no limit with the space and time. Most of the times when we're telling our story, we're bound by the time zone, we're bound by the space. But in virtual reality, actually, it enables the media people to teleport you into a new world and do anything you want, and then actually you can be anything you want. And this is a very powerful message because this was never able to be done in the past. One of the great thing about virtual reality is that there's a new content design language here, right? Now, experience is moving away from seeing, and it's moving towards to feeling. One time, there's one gentleman, he said he misses his grandmother so much because, he has a lot of cherishable memories with his grandmother. But if you can actually film, grandmother in 360 video when she's still alive, maybe ask questions about, how she live their lives, and then so maybe ask for a piece of wisdom, and then you filmed it. And then in the future when she passed away, and you want to actually carry that story over to your grandson, then you can actually have to wear the headset, and then you feel like you're actually there and talking to your grandmother, right? And this is much more emotional than flat screen TV. And highly interactive because you're able to interact with the video, and because you're seeing things in all 360 degrees, and this actually leaves much better impression than the 30-second video. Most of the time, when we actually had this headset to people who are trying the first time, they actually thought that this is much better experience. There are challenges too. Customer adoption, because we don't know why you should buy virtual reality. The current virtual reality is a supply-driven industry. We see a lot of tech giants, Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Samsung, LG, they're all jumping into this space, telling that virtual reality is so great, but actually most of the people out there have not really gone out there and tried the virtual reality experience. So when I actually tell them, you gotta go buy Oculus Rift, which costs about $599, or go buy your HTC Vive for $799, people are puzzled because they don't really know why they need to go out there and buy it. Because we don't really have the customer meeting point yet where people are willing to learn the virtual reality experience and actually pay for it. And design ergonomics. One time I was in the game show, and then I showed this virtual reality headset that we built. And then this gentleman got so excited that there's a girlfriend behind him. It's like, hey, honey, you gotta come and try this out. And she refused. You know why? Her reason was that it's gonna ruin my makeup. If there's a big foam, attached to the virtual reality headset, you wear this, it's gonna definitely erase your pretty makeup up here. And she said, it's gonna ruin my hair because we've got this third string attached to it, and it's gonna actually split your head into half. So it's not gonna look pretty, right? So she refused. And one time also, we had a high school kid trying our headset. He was all sweaty too, sweaty and zit face actually. And he's got this wearing headset, and we're trying to give this headset to another person, and he refused. I'm not wearing this because it feels gross, right? So, design ergonomics is another challenge, and it's not really fashionable, right? If you see someone wearing it, I just showed the 3 videos, and then did they look cool? Probably not, right? It's not something that you want to be wearing every day and showing the public. So it looks a little geeky and nerdy right now. But in the future, I think it's going to be much smaller and it's much better design. Content is another issue. How do you tell the compelling VR story? In normal advertisement world, when we see things in 2D flat screen, you have a full control of the camera movement. So camera directors will be able to show the scenes that they want to show you. But in virtual reality, it's a 360 video. So the audience actually has the full control of the view they want to see. So you can look around. So how can you direct your audience to see your message, right? How do you actually control that? So that's something that you have to be really struggling with. And also simulation sickness. A lot of people kind of feel sick after wearing VR goggle when you feel a lot of motion. So when you're standing still and then wearing this VR headset and then you see a lot of motion, your visual sensory is not matching with your current body state. So then you start to feel dizzy. Whoa. So that is something you have to be worrying about and actually thinking about when you're designing your advertisement in VR. And the hardware, we still have not enough resolutions in the panel, and we actually need to have a longer last battery life too. I was talking to one of the folks in the Discovery VR booth, and then we were discussing some of the challenges, and definitely we were this cell phone powered HMD. When you about watch an hour and a half, and then your battery dies. And this is a really panicky moment. There's in modern world, the human feels panicky in two situations. One, when your battery is really low, flashing red, or your Wi-Fi is dead, right? So we live in a world where cell phones are very important, and then this actually drives a lot of battery, and it's wireless too. A lot of the cutting edge HMDs still got wire attached, and so you're not really free to move around, right? So that actually sums up my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Amazing, fascinating, thought-provoking, and a little bit scary all at the same time. Thank you so much. We're running way, way late, all thanks to Mr. Charlie Crow. Everything's his fault, in case you hadn't picked that up. But we've maybe got time for one question. If there's anyone got a burning question, yeah, first guy with his hand up. We've got just time for one question. I'm really sorry. I've got loads of questions as well. But grab the guys afterwards, and I'm sure they'll answer all your questions. But we have time for one, so let's do that.
Hi, it's David from Adavow. My question was for Blippar. I was wondering if the technology works for something like a news article. So can you highlight, say, an article about Brexit, and then it will pull up contextual articles that will give you more information about that story?
Yes.
Should be.
Okay.
Do we have his mic on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, yeah,
You're right.
yes, it can work that way.
There you go. Simple question, simple answer.
Let's
okay.
chat.
Great, lovely. Guys, thank you so much.
Brilliant idea as well.
It was fantastic. Thank you so much.